Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive episode where we dive deep into the heart of American entertainment, politics, and unfiltered passion. Imagine the bright lights of the View studio in New York City, the iconic round table surrounded by a buzzing audience, the cameras rolling as the co-hosts Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, and Alyssa Farah settle in for another day of hot topics and heated debates. It's a crisp October morning in 2025, but the air is thick with anticipation because today, the panel is tackling one of the hottest controversies rocking the nation: country music superstar Carrie Underwood's decision to perform at President Donald Trump's second inauguration ceremony. Carrie, the Oklahoma-born powerhouse who rose to fame on American Idol back in 2005, has always been a symbol of small-town grit and all-American values, with hits like Jesus, Take the Wheel and Before He Cheats that have sold over 85 million records worldwide, earning her countless Grammys, CMAs, and a spot as one of the best-selling artists of all time. But now, at 42 years old, with her golden hair cascading in waves and her voice still capable of shattering glass, she's stepping into the political firestorm, agreeing to belt out America the Beautiful alongside the Armed Forces Chorus and the United States Naval Academy Glee Club right after the oath of office on January 20th. This isn't just a gig, it's a statement, a bold embrace of patriotism that has split her fanbase down the middle, with social media erupting in a frenzy of hashtags like #StandWithCarrie and #BoycottUnderwood, as liberals decry it as endorsing division and conservatives hail it as a return to unity under the red, white, and blue. And at the epicenter of this storm stands Joy Behar, the 83-year-old firebrand co-host of The View since its inception in 1997, known for her sharp wit, unapologetic liberal leanings, and a career spanning Broadway, stand-up comedy, and authorship of books like When You Need a Laugh, but also infamous for clashes that have made headlines. From her infamous Rosie O'Donnell feud to her Trump-era rants that drew both applause and boycotts, Joy, with her signature bob haircut and New York bravado, has never shied away from calling out what she sees as hypocrisy, and on this fateful episode, she unleashes a tirade that labels Carrie's choice as not just misguided but downright un-American, sparking a backlash so fierce it feels like the entire country is tuning in, breath held, waiting for the other shoe to drop. As the segment kicks off, Whoopi, the EGOT-winning moderator with her commanding presence and gravelly voice honed from years on Broadway and in films like The Color Purple, introduces the topic with her trademark even-handedness. Folks, we've got a doozy today. Carrie Underwood, Queen of Country, is set to sing at Trump's inauguration. Love it or loathe it, it's happening, and it's got everyone talking. The audience murmurs, a mix of cheers and groans rippling through the studio, as clips play on the massive screens behind them. Carrie in a sparkling gown from her Las Vegas residency, then archival footage of her USO tours entertaining troops overseas, her face beaming with that genuine smile that won over America 2 decades ago. Sunny Hostin, the sharp legal and co-host since 2016, leans in first, her elegant poise masking a fiery intellect shaped by her prosecutor background. Look, Carrie has every right to perform wherever she wants, but let's be real, this isn't neutral. Trump's record on women, on immigration, on the very fabric of our democracy. How does that square with her anthems of empowerment? Sarah Haynes, the relatable mom of 3 with a journalism degree from Smith College, nods thoughtfully, her blonde waves bouncing as she chimes in. I get the business angle, inaugurations pay well, and exposure is king in this industry. But for a woman who's built her brand on faith and family values, this feels like a gamble that could alienate half her audience overnight. Alyssa Farah, the Republican voice added in 2021 after her White House press secretary days under Trump, counters swiftly, her dark hair pulled back in a professional bun, eyes flashing with conviction. Hold on, sister. So 75 million Americans voted for Trump because they love this country too. Cancel culture tried to bury artists for less. Carrie's standing tall, and good for her. It's about unity, not division. But then, the camera pans to Joy, seated at the end of the table like a queen on her throne, her glasses perched on her nose, a sly smile playing on her lips that hints at the storm brewing. She sipped her coffee, adjusted her microphone, and now, with the precision of a seasoned performer, she launches into her critique, her voice rising like a Broadway belter hitting a high note. "Oh, please." Carrie says she loves our country. How do you love your country and then go normalize a convicted felon who stormed the Capitol, who brags about grabbing women, who wants to turn America into his personal playground? It's baffling. She's got the pipes of an angel, but this is selling out to the devil in orange. The studio falls into a stunned silence for a split second, then erupts, the audience divided, some applauding wildly, others booing, as Whoopi raises her hands like a referee calling a timeout. Joy doesn't stop. She's on a roll, gesturing animatedly, her Italian heritage shining through in her passionate delivery. "I mean, come on, we've got real heroes out there, veterans, teachers, single moms scraping by, and here she is, glamming up for a guy who called fallen soldiers losers? No, ma'am, that's not patriotism, that's performance art for the privileged." Alyssa fires back immediately, her cheeks flushing. "Joy, that's unfair. Carrie's done more for our troops than most celebrities. Her Choose Joy Foundation has raised millions for underprivileged kids. You're twisting this into something ugly." Sonny jumps in, ever the mediator, but Joy has a point. Actions speak louder than songs. What message does this send to young girls looking up to Carrie? Whoopi, sensing the powder keg, tries to stir. All right, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Carrie's an artist, not a politician. But Joy, undeterred, leans forward, her eyes locking on the camera as if addressing Carrie directly. "Sweetie, if you really loved America, you'd be singing for unity, not for a man who divides us at every turn. Think about Ida, your fans, the real ones, the ones who bought your albums when you were just a farm girl with a dream. They deserve better than this political pandering." The clip cuts to commercial, but the damage is done within minutes. Twitter now's as ablaze, with #Joy Behar cancels Carrie trending worldwide, fans posting side-by-side photos of Carrie's wholesome image juxtaposed with Trump's mugshot, memes flooding feeds of Joy as a witch cackling over a cauldron labeled liberal hypocrisy. Carrie, back home in Tennessee with her husband Mike Fisher, a former NHL star, and their two sons Isaiah and Jacob, scrolls through the notifications on her phone, her heart sinking as the vitriol pours in. Old fans unflowing, new ones rallying, sponsors whispering about pullouts. She pens a quick Instagram post, her words measured yet firm. "I love our country and am honored to sing at the inauguration. It's about coming together, not tearing apart. God bless America." But Joy's words linger like a bad echo, fueling think pieces in Variety and Rolling Stone dissecting the crossroads of celebrity and citizenship, with pundits debating if this is the end of apolitical artistry or the dawn of a new era where stars must pick sides. Meanwhile, in the green room of The View, Joy high-fives Sonny, chuckling. "Did you see their faces? That's television gold." Little does she know, this is just the spark. The explosion is coming, and Carrie Underwood, with her unshakable faith and fighter's spirit, is about to walk right into the lion's den. As the show resumes post-break, the panel dives deeper, but the tension simmers, a prelude to the chaos that will unfold when Carrie herself crashes the party, not with a tweet, but with a live appearance that no one saw coming. Picture this, producers scrambling, calls flying between ABC execs and Carrie's team at UMG Nashville, a surprise booking that turns a routine episode into ratings dynamite. The backstory unfolds like a country ballad of Carrie, raised in Chiquita, Oklahoma, on a 400-acre farm, singing in church before school, her voice a gift from God that carried her from waitressing tables to sold-out arenas. She's navigated scandals before, from her 2017 car accident that scarred her face to the 2022 Las Vegas residency that redefined her as a live performer, belting power ballads under neon lights that drew 200,000 fans in months. But this is personal. A collision of her evangelical roots, tithing 10% of her earnings to charity, founding the Carrie Underwood Scholarship for At-Risk and the cutthroat world of daytime TV where opinions are weapons and apologies are rare. Joy, born Josephine Victoria Akiuto in Brooklyn to a Jewish-Italian family, clawed her way from school teacher to soap opera writer to comedy circuit darling, her humorous shield against life's punches, including widowhood after 50 years with Joe Crumb and a breast cancer battle that only toughened her resolve. Their worlds in Nashville's twang versus New York's bite were never meant to collide so violently, yet here we are, on the precipice of a showdown that will redefine loyalty in the age of algorithms and outrage. As the days tick down to the inauguration, the backlash swells, petitions on change.org demanding ABC apologize, billboards in Times Square flashing support Carrie, boycott The View, and late-night hosts like Jimmy Kimmel cracking jokes that land somewhere between sympathetic and savage. Carrie preys on it, consults her pastor, weighs the cost to her brand. After all, her net worth hovers at $140 million, built on authenticity, not controversy. But when her publicist floats the idea of going on The View to set the record straight, she nods, steeling herself. If I'm gonna sing for America, I need to face the critics head-on. Cut to the studio a week later, the audience electric, whispers rippling as Whoopi announces, "We have a special guest today, fresh off tour, Carrie Underwood." The applause thunders, mixed with skeptical claps from the liberal-leaning crowd, as Carrie strides out in a simple denim jacket over a white blouse, jeans hugging her toned legs from years of cryotherapy workouts and Pilates, her makeup natural, highlighting those piercing blue eyes that have stared down arenas of 50,000. She hugs each host, a warm with Whoopi, polite with Sunny and Sarah, a firm clasp with Alyssa before reaching Joy, who stands with arms open but a wary smile. "Carrie, honey, welcome," Joy says, her tone honeyed but edged. Carrie sits, microphone clipped, heart pounding like the opening chords of Blown Away, and Whoopi dives in. "Carrie, you've got the nation divided. Why Trump? Why now?" Carrie takes a breath, her Oklahoma drawl steady. "Whoopi, I've always believed in this country and a messy, beautiful, God-given land that lets dreamers like me rise up. The inauguration isn't about one man, it's about all of us, coming together after division. I've toured with the USO, seen our soldiers' sacrifices firsthand. Singing America the Beautiful is my way of honoring that, not picking a side." The audience leans in, nodding here, frowning there, as Sunny probes, "But Trump's policy on Roe v. Wade, on immigrants like my family, how do you reconcile that with your songs about strong women?" Carrie meets her gaze. "Sunny, faith guides me. I believe in grace, in second chances. No one's perfect, but America's about redemption. My music's for the heart, not the ballot box." Sarah chimes, "Smart business or sincere belief?" "Both," Carrie admits with a laugh, "but mostly sincere. My boys ask questions, I want them to see Mom standing for what I believe." Alyssa beams, "Preach, sister." Then, the moment arrives, Joy clears her throat, leaning in like a prosecutor in court. "Carrie, last week I said your choice baffles me. How do you love America while normalizing a felon who wants to dismantle it, convicted on 34 counts of hush money, lies, the whole mess?" The studio hushes, all eyes on Carrie, who doesn't flinch. Instead, her eyes well up, not with tears of defeat, but righteous fire, her voice dropping to that husky timbre that sells out stadiums. "Joy, with all due respect, and I mean that, because I've admired your candor for years, so that's where you're wrong. Dead wrong. Calling me un-American, after I won this country over on Idol with your votes, after I poured my soul into albums like Cry Pretty about real pain, after I gave back through foundations that fed hurricane victims and supported trafficking survivors. You don't get to gatekeep patriotism because I won't toe your political line." Gasps ripple Whoopi mouths. "Whoa." Joy blinks, caught off guard, stammering, "I didn't say un-American exactly." Buta Carrie cuts in, voice rising like the chorus of Undo It. "You implied it, Joy. You questioned my love for this land while sitting in a studio built on free speech you now weaponize. I've faced trolls, accidents, loss. My house burned down in 2019. Remember? Lost everything but faith. And now, because I choose to sing for unity, you drag me? No more. America's big enough for our differences, but not for this divisiveness dressed as discourse. If loving my country means facing folks like you head on, then count me in." Exploding myths, one note at a time. The audience erupts, standing ovation clashing with boos, as Carrie stands, microphone in hand, launching into an a cappella snippet of America the Beautiful, her voice soaring, pure, piercing the chaos like a beacon. Joy sits back, stunned, a flicker of respect in her eyes amid the shock, while the co-hosts scramble to react to Whoopi laughing nervously. Well, that's one way to end a segment. Backstage, producers hit record highs, knowing this clip will go viral, spawning think pieces, SNL skits, and a surge in Carrie's streams. But for Carrie, it's catharsis, a line in the sand drawn with vocal cords of steel. As she exits, hugging Alyssa tightly, she whispers to Joy off-camera, "Let's grab coffee sometime, no cameras." "We're both fighters." Joy nods, a bridge perhaps forming in the rubble. This isn't the end, it's the anthem of a nation wrestling with itself, where stars shine brightest in the storm. And as the credits roll, one thing's clear, Carrie Underwood didn't just appear on the View, she owned it, exploding the backlash into oblivion, reminding us all that true power isn't in politics, but in the unyielding human spirit that sings through the noise. Fast forward through the viral whirlwind that follows Carrie's bombshell appearance, where her unscripted takedown of Joy's critique racks up 50 million views in 24 hours, catapulting The View to its highest ratings since the 2020 election cycle and boosting Carrie's latest single out of that truck to #1 on iTunes, proving once again that controversy is the best publicity in the streaming age. Social media becomes a battlefield of epic proportions, with TikTok stitches of Carrie's mic drop moments set to dramatic country remixes, while Reddit threads in our pop culture dissect every micro-expression of Joy's raised eyebrow at 2:14, Carrie's subtle fist clench at 3:47 as if they're clues in a whodunit. Conservative outlets like Fox Friends parade Carrie as a hero, interviewing her childhood choir director who tearfully recalls her first solo at age 10, belting "How Great Thou Art" with a purity that silenced the congregation, while liberal bastions like the Huffington Post run op-eds questioning if ABC should apologize for platforming MAGA minstrelsy. Carrie, ever the diplomat, does a whirlwind of follow-ups, a heartfelt segment on Good Morning America where she tears up discussing her late father's influence, a paper mill worker who taught her the dignity of labor, tying it to her belief in policies that uplift the working class, regardless of party. "Dad voted his conscience," she says, "and so do I." Meanwhile, Joy, no stranger to fallout, pens a fiery Substack essay titled "Patriotism Isn't a Punchline But Politics Might Be," defending her stance without naming Carrie directly, quipping, "I've called out kings and clowns, a country crooner won't ruffle these feathers." Yet privately, sources whisper of tension on set, with Whoopi mediating late-night huddles over takeout Thai, urging unity. "We're sisters at this table, disagree, but don't destroy." Alyssa, thriving in the crossfire, launches a podcast episode interviewing Elizabeth Hasselbeck, the former View co-host who blasted Joy online as simmering down off "My Friend," where they bond over shared battle as Hasselbeck's 2007 Rosie clash that nearly ended her career. Alyssa's post-White House scrutiny, "Carrie's strength is quiet thunder," Hasselbeck says, "Joy could learn from it." The ripple effects spread far beyond the studio. Country radio stations in the Bible Belt play marathon Underwood blocks, with DJs dedicating tracks to the voice of real America, while coastal playlists add disclaimers like "artistic choice, not endorsement." Sponsors weigh in. Carrie's Almay Cosmetics deal holds firm, praising her authentic voice, but a progressive apparel brand quietly pulls ads from The View. Fans mobilize. Carrie Nation, her devoted online army, floods Joy's mentions with polite rebuttals quoting scripture alongside stats on Trump's veteran support, while Joy's loyalists counter with feminist manifestos highlighting Carrie's silence on abortion rights post-Dobbs. Amid the melee, Carrie retreats to her Nashville farm, adopted rescue dogs at her feet, strumming her guitar under starlit skies, journaling lyrics about resilience. When the crowd turns, "Stand your ground, voice like thunder, shake the sound." Her husband Mike, now a real estate developer and devout Christian, massages her shoulders, reminding her of Proverbs 17:17, "A friend loves at all times as they pray for wisdom." But the story doesn't end in seclusion. Oh no, it's just heating up.